Hey guys, welcome to another one of our reviews. I'm Worm, and this is the Proton. Today we're going to be doing a review from a new company that contacted us. They want us to do a starter kit and we said we were more than happy to. So, yeah.
There you go. What we are doing today is the Halo Mini Starter Kit from certoent.com. Okay, they sent this down for us to us for review for free. Obviously it's not going to change anything. Yeah, that's basically what it is. I think Worm's going to do a little close-up of this one just to show you what you're going to get when you buy this, and then we're going to come back up to us and do what we do.
Okay then guys, quick little close-up of the Halo Mini e-cig starter kit. It comes in a nice little box like this. Obviously we don't really care about that at the moment. These are what comes inside. You get a nice little user instruction manual, which is always good. A lot of companies are doing the manuals these days, which is always beneficial. It even comes with a certificate of inspection as well, which is not overly common, but this is good that you get it in this, so that's always nice. We'll just open up the kit there, and what you get inside is obviously your little USB charger, one battery and two cartomizers already primed with tobacco juice. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, I've already got one open. I used that one already just so we could test the kit for the review and that, but literally just screw your battery into the charger, that goes into whatever you're charging it on from, and that's pretty much everything. I mean, you should all know that the cartomizer is attached at the same point. Obviously this is an automatically pulled battery. You don't need to press any button, you literally just suck and the vapour comes out the actual top of the cartomizer there. These cartomizers can be refilled. You can just pop that bung out and refill it with the juice that you can also get from their site as well. So, but yeah, that's the little logo of the Halo kit. Little case, one battery, two cartomizers and a charger, which is pretty good for a little kit. We're going to come back up to us now and have a monumental flap probably. Alright guys, that was the quick up close of the little Halo Mini Starter Kit. You know, it's just a typical e-cig. They're all pretty much similar these days, but this one's an automatic, not a manual pull. So, all depends on what you prefer.
There you go.
I've used the other cartomizer, so
yeah, we'll just go through particulars, I suppose, if you want to what we get in a box, obviously. Yeah. But price? Did we say price?
No, we did not say price. The price is $19.99. Obviously, shipping charges may increase that slightly, but it's not going to be overly too much. The charger is a 0.1 amp charger, so only use it on your e-cig battery that comes with the Halo kit. It's not really going to charge much else than that.
More importantly, I'd say, is only charge this on that charger, because your ego chargers and stuff are 0.42 amp. Make sure you're using the right charger, guys. Yeah, you're going to overcharge that battery too quick and possibly fry your battery. But obviously, in the starter kit, like we showed, one battery, one charger, two cartomizers, already primed with a tobacco e-liquid. The battery is logoed with the little Halo man with obviously a halo on top of his head. I think it's the same on the front of the case as well. I didn't really check. Let me just check that. Yeah, you got the little Halo guy on the front with an actual a website as well. So there you go. A few other bits and bobs that you're getting in with the box. You're getting a manual, guys, and it's not particularly thick, but it is a manual, and you know how to use it. I mean, if you're watching this review, you know how to use it anyway, but you're getting a manual, then it seems like it shouldn't be a big deal, but in this industry it is. To get a manual is nice. I mean, starter kits would tend to have them, you'd be surprised how many out there don't. So that is one thing. You get in your metal protective case and it's got a slot for an additional battery, so if you decided this was for you, you could get your slot, you'd get additional battery, and then you'd have two of your batteries on the roll, so that's not bad either. As Worm pointed out, these carts are refillable. All cartomizers are refillable. These carts are refillable. They sell e-juice at Centro, and they're not particularly difficult to refill, guys. And the size of these cartomizers as well. I mean, these are what, these 45mm cartomizers. Yeah, these are big cartomizers. These would be classed as an XL cartomizer, even for tank purposes. For taking these bungs off, you will need to get something a little bit stronger than like maybe a paper clip, maybe a pin or something. These are tougher than the standard cartomizers you can buy, so just bear that in mind. Indeed, but they're in there, and that is what it is. But you can take it out, and to be honest with you, we found typically with e-cig carts that you can refill them about 10 times. So that's awesome. I mean, you've got the e-cig look. I mean, I would never see a butt that size and think that was a real cigarette, but from a distance, definitely looks like a cigarette, feels like a cigarette to hold, and you've got the red light. It's actually kind of like an orange. It's really meant to be replicating an ember. Some of these have gone to different colour lights because they don't want it to be seen as replicating a cigarette directly.
but that is the case with this. You've got a nice red light on the end of it, automatic battery, so you screw it in and you pull.
But to be honest, for some people, the fact that it doesn't look like a cigarette makes it mentally just a little bit like they missed a cigarette. The more, for some people, that if it looks like a cigarette, it helps them out on a subconscious level, if you were. So I don't think it's a bad thing. It looks like a cigarette. It's clearly not a cigarette. You can quite tell when you get up close enough it's not a cigarette. Just let us be.
Right guys, if you haven't seen one of our reviews before, we do a 5-point hit list, which is across the board our way of kind of describing to you what it's like to live with, and also gives you a few marks on our opinion, obviously guys. Worms lived with this more than I have. In fact, you used it for a while, didn't you?
I used it for a day.
Yeah, an entire day on a cigarette, like, who'd have thought? But there you go, it has been tested, so we'll go with it. Looks is what we first marked it with.
I'm not going to judge us against some of the usual stuff we do. I'm going to say looks in the cigarette category, basically, on this one. They all look pretty much the same. The only thing that pretty much changes is either the battery length, depending on the mile it's got, and the size of the cartridge you want to put on it, really. But I think as standard, it looks actually quite nice. He's got like all the little things that make it look a little bit more like a cigarette than some other kits out there. So if you're looking for a cigarette, it actually looks very close to a cigarette.
Guys, little technical issue. Me for looks, it looks exactly like a cigarette. Realistically, from a distance, you couldn't tell this wasn't a cigarette. So yeah, it looks like it's supposed to, and it does the job it's intended to do. It's getting a 10.
Yeah. Usability. If you're buying it like most cigarettes and you're literally just throwing away the cartomizer and buying new cartomizers, you've got to keep your battery charged and attach it to it. Maybe a little wipe down if it gets a little bit dirty, but other than that, the usability on this it's a 10. These sort of starter kits can't be anything other than a 10. You literally, you get it, the cartomizers are primed, you plug it into you attach it to your battery once it's charged, and you puff. Yeah, 10.
There you go, 10. Usability for me, short of a disposable, there is nothing more usable than this or any of these starter kits. Okay, you screw it in. I mean, you've got to make sure the battery's charged, which all of you will be used to doing with your mobile phone, and then you've got to screw this in. When it runs dry, replace it, or re-drip a bit of e-liquid in there. Out of interest, guys, if you're wondering, 25 drops, I'd imagine this is going to hold, depending on drop size, but about 20-25 drops this will hold. So when you read 25 drops, give it 2 minutes and you're away again. So that is what it is. But yeah, usability, it's as easy as an electronic cigarette can be. Realistically, it isn't a disposable, so it's getting 10.
Maintenance. If you're using it as a disposable cartomizer system, to maintain it, you just got to keep the battery charged, really. I mean, like, you may have to, like, because they're not putting any kind of weird like battery voltage through it that you would on other devices, those contacts should stay pretty clean for quite a long time, so you may have to wipe them down once every 2 months maybe, just to give them a little bit of tissue in there. Or if you're re-dripping e-liquid into the cartomizer, if you get a little bit of liquid in there, it might dirty up those threads a little bit, but that's only a case of a quick wipe. As easy as any other device out there. It's a 10.
Maintenance, you replace the cartomizer or potentially refill the cartomizer, and again, same as I've just said, in terms of electron cigarette, it doesn't get any easier than that, with the exception of a disposable. So it's a 10. It's just that's all it can be. It's 10 for maintenance.
What do we do on these ones? We do build
quality. We'll do flavour and vapour,
and build quality,
and then we'll do sort of build quality / price.
Yeah, we'll do it all in kind of a mishmash of things on this one. Flavour of it, obviously it's going to depend on what flavour you actually buy and with the strength of that flavour in terms, but we've got the standard tobacco that comes with it, and it tastes like tobacco, but it's mild enough that it's not lingering in your mouth forever, which I actually quite like, which is why I used it for a day. I didn't actually mind this on the tobacco flavour at all, and I used it literally all I used all day. It did annoy me when I had to charge it a few times, but I did use it solely for a day. Flavour's quite nice, it's pleasant. I'd give it a 7, just because it could be doing a little bit stronger, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion on tobacco, to be honest, more than anything. The vapour off of it, compared to other cigarettes, it's like a 9. I think it's up there with the best ones. I mean, you're not going to get plumes of vapour off these cigarettes, you're just not. But against other cigarettes, it's a 9. It's up there with the best of them.
Flavour for me, it's a pre-filled cart tobacco. Typically I have very low expectations of these carts, and this one, to be honest with you, is probably the best pre-filled I've tried. It actually tastes and feels like a cigarette should. Even if you get, I mean, we've tried quite a few now, even if you get ones that taste like they should, it doesn't feel like it should, because the way it absorbs in the throat or in the mouth, or just a twang that's left afterwards. But that itself, to me, right now, feels like I've just given worm half of my cigarette, basically. That's how it feels. So in terms of pre-filled cart, one of the best flavours I've tried, 10. In the grand scheme of things, it's still a good tobacco flavour. So I'm going to give it an 8 anyway. There you go. In terms of vapour, you can't really compare these to what kind of things we'd usually do, because it's not really comparable. They're completely different kettles of fish. But what I will say is that amount of vapour coming off there is going to be more than you would get off a cigarette. I mean, there's standard things you do, guys, with an electronic cigarette that you wouldn't do with normal traditional cigarette. Traditional cigarette, you hold it in for 4 or 5 seconds, some people. With an electronic cigarette, you do that, you're going to get very little vapour. It's a case of you breathe it in for a second and a half. Your body doesn't need any more time than that to absorb all of the nicotine that's in there, and then you breathe it out. That will give you more vapour per pull than otherwise holding it in. Should we sort of a build quality / price thing?
Yeah, I mean, for the price of it, it's a standard price for the starter kits, for a single battery starter kit anyway. They're all around £20-ish. Some you can get a little bit lower, some you can get a little bit higher, but you can always find discount codes out there to bring it down even more. But so yeah, for the price, I think it's on par with all other kind of cigar-like replications in terms of price. So it's a 10. It's around about that price. They're all the same price no matter where you go. The build quality on this is actually pretty good. I mean,
there's very little to build, isn't there? Like,
there's a battery and a cartomizer. You know, what is going to go wrong in that? I mean, other than the threads mucking up, but I can't really see anything else going wrong on this. So yeah, I mean, the actual battery part there seems to be no seam on the actual white design on the fronts, but the cartomizer is obviously just a cartomizer. It's just being wrapped with like an orange bit of paper, but that's anything that's going to come off, and it's going to be disposed before it falls off anyway, so it's not going to be an issue. So 10.
Build quality, I'm going to go straight into. To be honest with you, it's hard not to have 10 for build quality on these devices if you're looking at them objectifiably, because it either works or it doesn't. If it works, it's a 10, if it doesn't, it's a 0. The battery works, it's a 10. But the overall kit quality, I'd say, with your charger, your 2 carts, and your cigar-like battery, it costs you 20 quid. It's going to be a good way to see whether you can do this. That's the thing. And for 20 quid, I think you're getting a nice little kit. I think it's a good value for money kit, because you're getting your metal case, and then all you've got to do realistically is bung another battery in there, and then you've got your 2 batteries, and that would probably do most people if you're using it like a cigarette for a day. So I'm going to give it a 10 for sort of the build quality side of things, because I think as a kit, it's quite a nice tidy little kit. Price, 20 quid. It's not very expensive, to be honest with you, and it's one of them out of the box, you don't even need to add anything kits. I would recommend charging the battery when you first get it. It's going to take between half hour and an hour, maybe a little bit more depending if it's completely dead, but it's not a particularly high mile battery, therefore it's not going to take particularly long to charge. And then you can't measure in your way. So for the price, an out of the box kit, I'm going to give it a 10 as well. I think it's pretty damn good.
Overall, yeah, it's a perfect little introduction into this sort of, if you want cigar-like sort of kits. It's going to perform great. It's going to keep you off those fags, because it kept me off of any other device for a day. So, and I use high-end devices. So, but I do like the fact you get like the little case with it that's kind of like pocket size and not too revealing. The only thing I would recommend is maybe buying a second battery for it, because these don't last overly long. And if you're going out for a couple of hours, you probably will be using that second battery before you need to charge them both again. Or you can use them in rotation when you're at home to keep them charged, so you can keep puffing away. So other than that, I've got no faults with the kit at all.
There you go. Overall for me, a couple of things to bear in mind, I guess. One of them would be battery life, guys. I mean, the battery life is negative, but you get it with a small form factor, so the battery life isn't monumental. If used like a cigarette, it's going to last you around 2 to 3 hours, maybe more, maybe less, depends on how long you use it for. It's totally dependent on that. But battery life is not going to be monumental, so bear that in mind. And also, if you are going to be buying pre-filled cartomizers, it can work out to be an expensive way of doing this. It's still going to be cheaper than smoking, but it can work out to be a more expensive way. When they've got e-liquids on there, you can fill it up, there's more flavour variety, and I personally find it results in a better user experience. But all things considered, overall, I'm going to give this little starter kit, for a starter kit, I'm going to give it a 10. I'd recommend this kit. I would recommend using your own juice and buying another battery, but I would definitely recommend this kit.
If you're looking at Cigalite,
if you're looking for a Cigalite, definitely. So, yeah, I think for its purpose, it's perfect. So yeah, give it a 10. Why not? I think it's a good little jobby.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. I think we're pretty much done there, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Mr. Proton. It's been the Worm. See you soon.